Okay, so almost at the end of lap 1. The terrain is a little smushy. I mean, it's runnable. It's super humid, incredibly humid, but doing well. 2 more laps to go. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Road to Rim. Another video has gone by. We're now 19 days away from my attempt at trying Rim in less than 10 hours. And training has gone pretty well for the past 3 weeks. I've been able to follow my brute force training plan almost to a T, except for this final week where I think I had to really manage fatigue and intensity in workouts, because some of the workouts on the second week didn't come out exactly how I expected them to come. So I opted to do a little less mileage and focus a little more on quality. There was a specific workout this past week where I think it was Wednesday, that took me out for 2 days. I was really sore and tired, so I think it did its job, because it was a pretty tough day. This past week, not this one, the previous one, I also had the chance to head out to San Diego and complement what I had done in Flagstaff, which was basically just different type of running. So in Flagstaff I was mostly off-road, and in San Diego was mostly asphalt. So just varying the type of terrain, also to build durability to multiple type of workout and strain and different types of stress to the body. This past weekend I did get the chance to race finally, and I have a bib number to show it, and also some kind of a medal. So I took part on the Sinister Night Run 27K organized by Aravipa. They did it at Santan Regional Park, which is basically an hour and 20 south of where I live, and it's technically still Phoenix. So that's how big or how spread out Phoenix is. I did have a really fun experience. For a moment there, I thought the race wouldn't go through just because we were literally in the middle of a big storm. It was dark, pitch black, rainy, windy, so everything was blown apart being blown apart with the high winds. So for a moment there, I thought we wouldn't be able to race, but somehow the storm cleared and it left us runners with decent weather for a night run. The race started at 9:30 p.m., quite late, quite past my bedtime in fact. But there were a decent amount of runners, and although the scenario was quite odd because no one was gathering around the finish area, there were not a lot of spectators or volunteers. All athletes were kind of like spaced out with masks, so it was a pretty daunting scenario, especially for a night race in the pitch black. So it was just a different, I guess it's just a new normal. The race itself, it was through 3 loops of 9K. Because of the storm, the terrain was super smushy or mushy, very, very soft. So it didn't allow for a really fast run, in my opinion. I did do the best that I could, and that ended up being an hour and 56 for the 27K race, which is actually very close to the course record of the event. So I was pretty happy with that, and the way that I paced it, I think it did prove that my training until this point has been really solid, because I basically did no warm-up, jumped into the race, did the first lap just to see where I was going at the warm-up pace, and then I really pushed it on the second and third lap, meaning I had the capability and endurance to do that already with 45 minutes in. So I was really happy with that, happy with winning my first race of the year. and let's see if that momentum carries through the rest of the season, if we still have a season. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the equipment that I'll be using on rim to rim to rim. So hopefully this will help you if you're trying to figure out what you're going to use as well. This will help you give you some guidance of what I expect you to be using. I'll be starting from head to toe, and I'll put the links below of the equipment that I'll be using. So starting with the headlamp. The headlamp I'm using is a LED Lenser MH10, I think. It has 600 lumens and it has a really good battery. That's why I actually got it. I've been using it for maybe 2 years now. I bought it two years ago when I was still in Portugal, doing a lot of night running in the morning with the Monsanto running team, and they all used it, and they're experienced trail runners, so I kind of just bought it as well. And the good thing about this, besides the 6-hour battery and 6-hour battery and 600 lumens of brightness, is that it's the brightness of 600 lumens does make a big difference. So if you're running in the dark, the best investment you could probably make is a really good head torch, and I think this one does a really good job for not a really high price tag. So if you're looking for one, this would be my suggestion. And then eyewear, I'm gonna use the Impact X 2 or photochromatic lenses from Rudy Project. I don't know if I'll use this frame, but I'll definitely use this lens because it adapts the tint based on the brightness from the outside. So considering we're starting rim to rim to rim at 4 a.m., it'll be pitch black, and this will be a clear tint, and then as soon as the sun come up, this will become darker and darker as the light and brightness from the outside will also increase. So this is a really good lens for this type of scenario where you go from pitch black to bright daylight, and I think it'll be really useful. The other thing that I think it's a key piece of equipment for this type of thing, considering the pandemic that we're living in, is just a neck guard or brace. I don't even know how this I call Gator, I think it is. These are from Jakroo. I've been using it on cycling or group rides on the bike. It's really handy because it's very lightweight, and it doesn't accumulate a lot of heat, so you can always have it on at all times. And then as soon as you walk into a group of people, or you stop at the stoplight or a sign, or you go into a gas station, you just pull up, use it as a mask, and this way you're protecting yourself and everyone else around you. So it's just something that you can just carry without thinking about it, so it's super useful. The next thing that I'll be using, and I think it's really important to have, it's the Polar Grit X, and I say it's very important to have a GPS watch like this, mostly because of the routes. One of the things that really frustrates me and maybe people that are out there on trail races and runs is not knowing where to go, or let's say it's a race and it's poorly marked and you're not sure if that's the way. It's really frustrating to put an effort and then realize that you're off track or off route. So the Grit X allows you to have a route inserted in here and just follow basically a line on the screen, and although it may seem, oh, there's no maps, you can't really see where you're going, but just having the line directing you and the compass pointing you the direction you should follow makes a big difference, and just keeps your mind at ease that you're not off route. And also it's a long day, so it's one less thing that it will probably frustrate you on race day or event day. The next thing I'll go over is nutrition. So things that are really important into such a long and challenging day. is hydration and pacing and nutrition. So I'm gonna use Power Bar gels, and I'm probably gonna carry my nutrition plan from Ironman into rim to rim to rim. Basically, I'm gonna use 2 power gels per hour. Maybe 1.5 if I feel like it's too much, but I'll aim to have 2 an hour, which will give me about 400 milligrams of sodium just from the gels, plus the sports drink, and also about 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour just from the gels plus the sports drink. So, and again, because it's 60 grams and it's double source of carbohydrates, it's probably something that my gut will be able to tolerate, and I'll be able to carry this nutrition through the 10-hour or less than 10 hours I expect throughout the entire day. I probably will also carry some power bars with me, because every once in a while I'll probably stop to refill, and I'll probably want something solid just to hold everything together in the stomach. So beyond the gels, I'll also carry 2 power bars and whatever I can grab on the course or down at Phantom Ranch to see. I don't know, I'll probably grab a candy bar or something like that. And then the next thing I'll go over is the backpack. I've used it for 3 very long days. It's made by Nathan, and actually Kevin did introduce me to it, one of my athletes. So he had the same backpack, and I thought that it would be really useful to have a backpack versus having something that's handheld. I always prefer to have the handheld bottles, but the problem with those is that they have very limited capacity, and this one can take, I'm going to use a 2-liter bladder, but it can take a 4-liter bladder if you need. And it has this little straw which kind of will bounce every once in a while and hit you and say keep drinking. So it's quite convenient to have it, but it will allow me to carry 2 liters at a time, and I think that's the amount that I probably need between refuel points on the rim to rim to rim. So hopefully it'll be enough. Also, it has a whistle attached to it, so in case of emergency, it has a lot of pockets where I could carry nutrition. I'll also carry a rain jacket inside, my phone, my camera, so things that will help me in case of emergency, and everything goes in the backpack and I'll be fine. I've also ran Sinister 27K with it. I completely filled it. I probably didn't need that amount of fluid for a 27K run, but I just wanted to run with this fully loaded just to see how it felt. And it felt, obviously it put some strain in your shoulders, but not too much, and it's super breathable, which was very convenient considering it was also very humid on Sinister 27K. And then lastly, and so you guys don't get bored, I'm going to use the Cloud Venture Peak. The Cloud Venture Peak from On Running is just a perfect shoe for this type of event, mostly because it has amazing grip. This is the reinforced sole that they have. It just came out I think a year ago, so it's a big upgrade from the previous Cloud Venture. It's super lightweight. The walls of the shoe are super resistant. If I get it wet, it does get rid of moisture really quick. It doesn't allow for blisters to form. It's just, and did I mention it's lightweight? If not, it's super lightweight for a trail shoe. It's really impressive how light it feels, and I think it's just a perfect shoe for it. And I think it will be super useful to have such a I don't know, special feature, which is this reinforced sole for rim to rim to rim. So it will help you with grip, traction, and so on. So it's just perfect. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the key pieces of equipment. I think above all, it's important that I don't do this by myself. So I'm thanking those that will join me on September 19th in advance for just keeping me company out there, and hopefully I'll have good memories. We'll have good memories to share and all have a really good time. Okay, guys, this is it. Thank you for watching. Catch up next week or probably the following with another update and maybe the final video before the big day. I'll think of something else to talk about on that episode. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next week. At